There is my favorite student. Ooh, there is my favorite student. There is my favorite student. There is my favorite student. Hello, it's nice to see you, Ivanka. And how was your weekend?
My weekend was great.
Great. Wow. It's been so lovely. In 30 seconds, tell me about it.
We went to watch a movie on Sunday.
Okay.
And we also watched this music show on Sunday. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so that's
That was yesterday.
yeah.
Sounds interesting.
Okay.
All right. That's good. That's good. So today we want to quickly wrap up on Albert Einstein and the massive brain. So we can move on to today's material, which will include talking about Ada Lovelace. So, true or poo? Okay. Why is it funny that the smartest man's last words are a complete mystery? Do you remember? Can you remember the answer to this question? Or your answer to this question?
Because oh wait. I think it's because you can just try. It's just a last word, and if you don't understand it, and it's just pretty funny that you don't know what the last words somebody said before they died is.
Okay. So, I want you to think with me, okay? If I can think with me. Number one, he is said to be very smart. I mean, obviously, he must have been very smart. All right. Number two, he was German, but he lived in the United States for the better part of his adult life. Okay? That's number two. Number three, he died in United States. And number four, he spoke German on his deathbed to a nurse in the United States. Why do you think he spoke German to her? He was on his deathbed.
I think maybe it's something that he wants to say out loud, but he doesn't want people to hear.
Really? Well, why would you want to say something if you don't want people to hear? Or maybe he was just talking to himself. We do that all the time, right? You talk to yourself, don't you, once in a while? So maybe he was just talking to himself. Or, another possibility, maybe because he was on his deathbed, maybe his brain was losing oxygen and he was hallucinating, and maybe he forgot he was in the United States. He felt maybe he was in Germany. Maybe. A number of things could have happened. But it's just funny that one of the smartest men's last words were, I mean, they remain a complete mystery. It's just that funny. I don't know about you, but it sure sounds funny to me. All right. Well, I think we should just continue. Okay. The next one. True or poo, the giant brain. Now, Einstein had a massive brain. True or poo, Ivanka? Tell me.
It's poo. It's
poo. Yeah, because it's just, I think we did this in the last class. It's not about the size of the brain, right? And it's even been said that smaller brains are often cleverer than big brains. So, I don't know. Look at me. I have a relatively big head. Does that mean I'm not as clever? Interesting. I have a relatively big head, so that means most likely I have a relatively big brain. Does that mean I'm not as clever as people with smaller brains? Now, what I just said now, can you see what K did to negate it? Read this.
It was actually smaller than average, but then there's no smaller brain would be clever. Though my dog is proof this isn't always true. So so you can be just as smart as Einstein, even if you have a big brain, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. So this is part of what K does that it does so brilliantly, you know. And look at what it does here. Can you read this? Logical fallacy.
The author uses his dog Pippin to make a fun, illogical comparison about brain sizes.
Yeah. So what's a logical fallacy?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Well, it's just simple. A logical fallacy. Well, do you know the meaning of the word logical?
Yeah.
Okay. How about fallacy?
Okay, I don't know about fallacy.
Okay, so a fallacy is just a false idea, a wrong belief. Okay.
Okay.
Usually it sounds true, it sounds smart, but it's actually mistaken or deceptive. I mean, and when you're growing up, you hear lots and lots and lots of fallacies. So it's very funny. Now, so a logical fallacy is a mistake in how you build an argument. Okay? How that the steps, when you're building an argument, you get onto different steps. So if the steps don't eventually get to that final point properly, right, that you have to take a leap. A step, you have to just keep a step, one step, one step, one step. So if one of those steps involves you having to jump a lot, that means you're jumping, you're making assumptions, your decision is not based on facts, and it's not going on well. For example, if I say that the distance between South Africa and China is, just as an example, the distance between South Africa and China is, let's say, 10,000 kilometers. Okay?
Okay.
So, if I want to see you, I have to travel 10,000 kilometers. Or I will travel exactly 10,000 kilometers. Now, this is a logical fallacy. Do you know why?
No.
Okay, because of one word. Okay, let me write it down. Ivanka lives in China. Francis lives in South Africa. Can you see this? China is 10,000 kilometers away from South Africa. Now, can you see how I'm building this? Okay, let me reduce the size so you can see everything together. So, now this is my conclusion.
Okay.
If Francis wants to see Ivanka, he has to travel exactly 10,000 kilometers. Now, is this true?
It might be false.
Hmm?
It might be false.
Might be false.
And it might
Why?
be true. Because it says exactly 10,000 kilometers, but it has 50% chance that it's not, and it has 51% chance that it's false, and it has. Wait, let me calculate real fast.
No.
And yeah, I think it might be false because you have to travel exactly 10,000 kilometers, and that's probably still very far away from South Africa.
Okay. Thank you. Now, this statement assumes that 10,000 kilometers, that's a straight line on a map, okay? So this statement assumes that Francis is going on a straight line to China, which, when you're traveling, you know you don't travel in a straight line, do you?
Oh.
No, you don't. Usually curves and curves and curves and curves and curves and curves. That's the first thing. The statement also assumes that 10,000 kilometers, now it doesn't also take into consideration the size of South Africa and the size of China. So where exactly you are in China and where exactly you are in South Africa. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so it just assumes a lot of things. Now, that's a logical fallacy. It doesn't really make sense because the fact that China is 10,000 kilometers away from South Africa does not mean I'll travel exactly 10,000 kilometers to see you. Most likely, it will be more. And it might be less because Ivanka eventually might not be in China when I want to see her. Ivanka might have traveled to, let's say, Australia on vacation. And I want to see Ivanka. I also might not leave from South Africa. I might be in Lesotho or I might be in Hungary and I want to see Ivanka. So I can just travel maybe 7,000 kilometers. So there are lots and lots of problems with this statement. That's why it's a logical fallacy. It just doesn't add up. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. Now, that's what Kay does here, that this just doesn't add up, so it just breaks the entire argument. So, the question, does having a bigger brain make you smarter? We know the answer is no. So what actually matters? Let's try to answer that. What actually matters?
What actually matters is probably...
is how you use the brain,
Yeah, how you use
not the size that you have. Yeah. All right. Now, the next one. Oh, I hoped I had hoped we would be able to finish this earlier than this, but or quicker than this. Now, the ultimate test of genius. Can you read this?
If you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough.
Now, Kay gives you a piece of advice here. Can you read that piece of advice?
Please don't say this to your teacher, or you might end up in detention for 15 years.
Okay. So why do you think he said that?
I guess it's because teachers explain things very complicatedly, or it's just that you don't understand it well enough will make the teacher mad.
Remember, I'm also a teacher, so if you say teachers explain things in a complicated manner, then you're talking to me. Do I explain things in a complicated manner?
Well, not really.
Well, I'll take that as a yes. Yeah, for our class, it's intentional. I think I told you in our first class that the aim of this class is not just to read, okay? It is to teach you how to think, okay? Just how to be critical in thinking. Critical thinking. Remember, I told you the meaning of critical, who a critic is, right? And how K is writing, how he writes, how to think and how we write, how we think and how we write, philosophically speaking. So that's what this class is about. So I have to make it so complicated because I want you to think about every possible scenario that you can think of. Okay? So at first it sounds complicated, but I'm trying to just, remember, it's not the size of the brain, it's how you use it, right? So I want you to use your brain well, because I know you have, very strong brain.
Okay.
Now, can you read this? And let's just move on from here.
Do you agree with Einstein's catchphrase? I don't. I understand what it means, but I'm not quite familiar with why.
Not quite familiar with why.
Yeah. Why?
Why what?
Why can't? Why is it that if you can't explain something simply, then it means you don't understand it well enough?
I think this answers your question.
Oh, okay. Einstein believed true mastery means making complex things easy to understand, which is exactly what this book tries to do.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does. So then I probably understand. And so I guess I agree.
Yes, I also agree, because it's quite difficult. Now, the second question, why is simple explanation harder than complex words?
I think that it's because when you say complex words, you might not I think it's because when you say complex words, you might not be able to turn the complex words into easier words to make your sentence make sense.
Okay. I get what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense, what you're saying. I want you to look at it in this light also. You know, it's very easy to hide behind big words, complex words, when you're explaining something. But you can't hide behind simple words, because whoever you're talking to already knows those words you're using. Do you understand it? So you have to use all those words appropriately in explaining the concept you're trying to explain. All right?
Mm-hmm.
For example, let me give you an example. If I say, hey, Ivanka, your verbosity is something I've been trying to work on, and I'm also trying to do that, testing my teaching prowess and all that. Now, can you tell me you understand what I just said?
Not really.
Not really, exactly. Now, I just hid behind two words, prowess and verbosity. Really, what's verbosity? Verbosity simply means using too many words to explain a simple idea. Verbosity. Okay? Using too many words to express a simple idea. And prowess means your ability to do something. Okay?
You are what to do something?
Prowess.
Your what?
Ability. Your ability to do something. Prowess, ability to do something. Great skill. Okay? Great skill. And, great skill. Strength. You can also refer to bravery, right? When you're just being very good at doing something. So I just used these two words to conceal whatever it is I was talking about. Now it becomes more difficult for you to hear. But now if I have to now break it down, then you can ask me, oh, okay, so how many words should I use? If I say, instead of using verbosity, and I'll say, instead of saying, sorry, let me reduce the size of the font size, yeah. And I'll say, I am working on using less words to express simple ideas. Now, what have I just done? I've just made verbosity simpler, right? It shows that I know the meaning of verbosity. Do you understand that? Imagine I didn't know the meaning. I just picked it up, and I just, now it would become more difficult for you to understand. So that's what we're trying to work on. So that's the concept of using simple explanation and using complex words. Okay?
Okay.
Now we're going to take a break. and I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
See you.
See you.